Hello, everyone. I'm Mary Beth Archidiacono, and the messages will also be recorded, by the way. I am currently teaching at Kane Elementary, third grade co-teach. I'm special ed certified. Most of my teaching has been at the middle school level, but this year I was moved to third grade, and I'm having a lot of fun with my third graders. But I also had to learn a new platform because at middle school we were using Google Classroom. So I have spent a lot of time this year learning Seesaw. And there's something about choice boards that I think is really valuable. So I'm glad you're here, and I hope I can help you. So here's what our agenda is. We're going to talk really briefly about why we want to offer students some choices, what you need to consider for your learner, what kind of media can you use, and how can you insert it into your Seesaw choice board, the steps that are helpful in taking to create it, and then hopefully we'll have some time to try. So there's lots of research that suggests that students do well when they can have some choice, and not necessarily do better academically, but engagement wise. They tend to be more involved and more take more investment in their learning when they feel like they have a little bit of choice or some level of choice in what we're doing. So this is just a few articles that have been published about choice in teaching. So the things we want to consider, though, are things like reading ability. At middle school level, I was actually teaching students who weren't reading much above third grade. So I had to think about what can I put into my choice board that those students could use. Also the student interests, what kind of things are they interested in, or what means of learning are they interested in? And then what resources can we use? And luckily with the internet, we've got lots and lots to choose from. So when I'm thinking about a topic, I'm thinking about what books I can use, what videos are out there. Can I incorporate an artwork or some type of craft or activity that will still meet my objective, but allow students to flourish in their strongest learning environment? Science experiments, or even just audiobooks. Are there some of your students who really just need to listen as opposed to engaging with the screen? And actually, our students, we all spend a lot of time on screen time. So audiobooks are also a nice option to get out of the screen. So the steps in the creation, the first thing you want to do is figure out what your learning goal is and your objective. And like I said, it can be academic, it could be social emotional, it could be an executive function aspect of, self-determination, making choices, owning their learning, whatever your objective might be. Build in options that will build background knowledge, opportunities to practice, assessment options or accountability. And we'll talk about that. I think that needs to be something that's short and sweet, just to make sure that students are accessing the options. And let's try it. Okay, so I'm going to tap on this link. So this is my choice board file in Seesaw. So what I've done is when I create a choice board, I put it in this file so I can go back in and look at it anytime I like. And a lot of these choice boards started with other people. So this presidential choice board was on Seesaw. So I started by looking for choice boards, and I just typed in choice boards and saw what came up in the format that seemed interesting. And oftentimes those choice boards that are already created will have links to topics, so you don't have to necessarily look for everything. So this is an example of a choice board that I borrowed from someone. And this is the original. So each of these links is to a book or a activity. So most of them are reading activities, but down here is how to draw the White House. This is I don't know if anyone else has used this guy's videos, but they're really great and the kids really like them. I'm gonna close that. Oh, I love Kids Art Hub. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop presenting, so I'm gonna fix that. All right, now I want to go to Seesaw. So again, we're talking about presidents, but we have something here is something to draw, something about the inauguration day, a link to email the White House. So there's a writing activity. Here's a read aloud story. Here are some games from the US Mint. So that's just kind of an example of how you can touch on lots of different learning styles and still address your learning objective. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to go back to mine. We've also used choice boards with links to all of our activities. I don't see my most recent one in there, but okay. So here's my school break reading log. Students have links to all of our reading options. And now I've expanded it, and I'll show that to you, where now we've got literacy footprints on there as well. Got a couple different math links and some of the research links, and I've separated them out just in a way that seemed logical to me. This is my most recent. I'm gonna copy and edit. I'll open it. So this is my most recent choice board, and this is something that we on Plant Life. So there are 3 columns I've used, and I don't know if you were able to go to the presentation about the newest features on Seesaw, but you'll notice that now we have a voice option. So you can record your directions, and then there you have a tab so students know that that's where they can see the directions. But in the past, we'd use these quotation marks in the bottom, or I'd actually audio tape the whole thing and shrink it down. And this was in Seesaw to pick from. Yes. This one that I'm showing now is completely self-created. All right. Get rid of that. Delete. Students were given the direction to choose one from each column. And what I've done is I've linked the choice to the page in the document. So they don't have to go through all of these pages. I press on science experiment. If they want to do a science experiment, there's a video to the experiment. The directions are read. And then there's something in this that shows that they did the work. So the example in this one is attach a picture of your setup, your jar with the seed and the paper towel and all. And once they've done that, then they tap this link here to go back to the choice board. And then they can choose another choice. Any questions so far on, I'm just kind of walking through what I've done, but Okay, I'm looking at this thinking it might be a great way to have activities, subplans. Yeah, I think you could. All right, and I did create this in Seesaw. So this is a Nearpod that I've assigned to students. And if they choose to do it, then I can embed the link in the Nearpod. I mean, pardon me, in Seesaw, and they'll go to Nearpod. And I think in this particular Nearpod, I even put in a slide at the end that said, okay, now go back to Seesaw. I have done choice boards that have a lot of choices. So on this choice board, every single one of these leads to something. There's 3 Kahoots, there's a video, there's a link to Raz Kids, a link to a game on Toy Theater, different things to draw. And I believe we use this on an asynchronous day. And we called it a snow day theme. And then students moved, the way I assessed what they did was they moved what they did into first, second, third, then last. So that was the only thing I've required for them to be accountable for what they did. Okay. So what are you seeing that's new or confusing? Oh, good. Nothing's confusing and nothing's new. Ooh, that's not good. Would you, okay, so how often do you create a choice board? As often as you like. I mean, I like to do it. I kind of have fun. I find students who can have a little bit of choice in what they're doing tend to be a little more engaged, and engagement seems to be such a challenge right now. Let me see what other questions. For Bitmoji classrooms, I make in Google Slides, then post onto Seesaw. Okay, put more than one link on a Seesaw activity. Yes, I can show you how. So let's build a choice board. Okay, I'm going to start with a template. So I'm going to start with the plant life one. All right, and I'm gonna copy and edit. I'm gonna open up my choice board. All right. Let's pick a different topic. Anybody want to make a suggestion? Maybe something you have coming up that you want to learn about or you want to teach? My daughter. Ocean life, okay. Oh, butterflies came in first, sorry. Water cycle. We're gonna have fun. We'll start with ocean life just because that's the first one I saw. So I'll find a video. Let's start with Epic. And let's search for a book on ocean life. Okay. So what's really cool here, let's say you want to give your students a choice of different animals. So I can, here's what I would do. I would use my snip and sketch. Can you see that on your screens? I want to see what you're looking at, what you see. Okay. Take a screenshot of sea otters. Okay, I just took a screenshot and then I'm copying it. And now I will go back to my Seesaw. How do you take a screenshot? Okay, let me see if I can, I'm going to present in a slightly different way. I'm going to, instead of presenting a tab, I'm going to present my whole screen. Then I can bounce from tab to tab. All right, I go to my choices. On my computer, I can go to S and find snip and sketch. Then I tap new, and I would take I need to have what I want to take a picture of on my screen. In this case, I don't, so I have to go back to Epic. And now I go down here and just tap that and say new. And let's do puffer fish. That. Now I have it. I'm going to go over here. You can save it, but my co-teacher Julie just taught me that I just need to copy it and go to Seesaw, and I want it on this page. Just put your cursor on the page. Hit Control V, and there you have it. Now, I want my students, when they pick that picture, to go to this book. So now I'm going to tap these three dots at the bottom, and I'm going to pick link. And I will put the link to that book. Right in there. Okay. And then when students tap on that link, they come right to the book. Okay. Now, that's if you want a student to get to that book. But let's say you want to put that book on another slide, and I'll just show you what I mean. Do we have to be signed into Epic? I think they will, but they can just sign into Epic and then go to that book. You might want to assign it to them as well. I'm not sure, just because I am signed into Epic. I guess I could log out and see if it works. Maybe I'll do that. Let's log out. Log out. It brought me right to the book. I will have to log in, but it does at least bring you to the book that you want your student to read. Thanks for asking that question. So I'm just going to get rid of this for now. On this page, my first page, I don't have links to anything outside of Seesaw. I actually only have links to pages within my choice board. So there's page 1. Here's page 2. This is a word search on toy theater. Here are 2 read alouds that I use Screencastify to read books from Epic. Here is how to draw the stages of a plant. This has no links outside of the document, but if all these other ones in that picture is the link to how to draw a plant. In this waffles, that's the link to the toy theater game. How do I put that in there? I'm gonna unlock it. I'm gonna go to toy theater. And this time I want the students to do multiplication bingo. I tap on the link, the link at the top, and I copy it. Go back to Seesaw. The bottom 3 dots, you're going to tap on the link, paste that into the link, check. And oftentimes a picture will come up instead of you having to take a picture. Okay. Okay, let's see. Do the students have to log into? Okay, we did that. Are we able to use websites that aren't on the district approved website? Yes, you are. There's nothing blocked within Seesaw. Let me go back to the first page. You do not have to use this feature, but after my experience, I find with my 3rd grade students to have one page that tells them what to do and then links them within the document, they are more likely to do the activity that's been assigned the way it's been assigned. So in order to do this, you'll create a text box, all right? And maybe it'll be bingo. Okay, bingo. I'm going to tap on those 3 dots again and go to link. Only this time, I'm going to move this up a little so you can see it better. Only this time when you go to link, you're not going to type in a website or copy in a website. You're going to go to link to page. Tap down. You have to remember what page you had that document on. I'm going to look and see. I have it on page 3. So I'm going to tap page 3. And now when the student taps on bingo, they'll come to page 3 and there's bingo. And then they can go out of Seesaw to whatever the activity is and then come back. Likewise, up here on my return to choices, on every page, go back to that. On every page, I have this and I have put on the link page 1. So every page brings the students back to page 1. For your students that aren't readers, so when they go back to this first page, they're not necessarily going to know what that is. You can do a couple of things. You can have just one page, and you can put all of the links directly on this page. And students can use that to just go to the picture that leads them to where they want to go. And a good example of that, I'm not going to save this. Oh, well, maybe, no, I'm not going to. So a good example of that is this activity. On that first page, well, actually, that's me. I created this before we had that listen button. So this is really the first page of the activity. Everything is a link to something. So for your non-readers, your really young students, they can pick a picture and that's where they'll go. Multiplication racing. Science experiments, things like that. My next slide in this one, students would just tap the pointer and then move what they did first. First thing I did was that, and then I did that, and then I went to that site, and then I did that, and then I did that. And I actually then put in what I tried and what I want to try next time. And my direction was everything has to be moved. My purpose for that was to make sure students were thinking about what they didn't do or what they did do, make sure they didn't miss an option that maybe was really interesting to them. And again, this was my piece of sort of formative assessment. So let's see if there's any other questions. There. All right. Do you want to, in the 16 minutes we have left, I'm happy to build a choice board for someone or with someone, or answer any questions you have. I'll open the chat just in case people are typing in, but go ahead and open your microphone. When I'm teaching something I've done a lot of, sometimes I go too fast or whatever. So build a board. You want me to build a board? Okay. Let's build a board.
Excuse me, Mary, quick question.
Yeah.
Can you see when the kids click on something, is there a record of how long they were there or what they actually did? Or because I have some kids that just go click and open, I did it, click and close.
I do too. No and yes. Yes, if you assign something that keeps track of that. Like if you assign a book in Epic or most of the reading sites will tell you how long. The literacy footprints definitely tells you how long they were in the book. Vocabulary, if you can attach your class to vocabulary. And what I've done is I've assigned a Google Classroom to my third graders and just asked them to join. And that's the last time they'll ever see that. But then I can connect, I can assign the vocabulary activity through my Google Classroom, and then I'll keep track of it. Nearpod tells you who was in and how long they were in, and also gives you scores if there's a quiz involved. So it depends on what you choose.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to tap that link paste there. Okay. And I'll lock that in. All right. Now let's find a video. Oh, let's find life virtual field trip. I'm going to have to look at that, so you'll take a little time, but I'm going to pretend that is, I've checked it out and it's a good site and it's a good stop. I'm going to go back to Seesaw. Now I'm going to put in a link because I don't have a picture to attach to that yet, and see what happens. See if it gives me a picture. Think of some other context you would like. All right, that's all right. That's okay. There's the website. What other ways would you like your students to learn? Draw a picture, do an experiment. Don't make me do all the work. Draw a fish. Right? Videos. How to draw a fish. I really love this site. So there, bam. Copy. Insert the link. And getting back to the idea of how do you know if students are doing things, that's one of the reasons why you need to put in a small, or at least a small accountability piece. So our plant life, on the read aloud page, I asked students to use the microphone and record one thing they liked and one thing they learned. Their ability to answer that question just confirmed for me, yes, they actually did read this book or listen to the read aloud. It doesn't have to be a high stakes assessment, but just to your point, I've had students open their choice boards and turn them in 10 minutes later. And nope, this is what you have to do. And it's taken me a little time to figure out that you do need that little piece of accountability to make sure. I thought having a lot of choice in and of itself would be motivating. But if they're working asynchronously and they could be playing video games or doing your choices, you do need to put something in there that confirms that they did it. Video ocean life habitats. Okay, so. Videos. There's a couple of good ones. I'll go with the first one. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm going to put this one in, but I would prefer one that actually, let's go back because I would prefer one that brings them right to the video. So let's see about this one. Yeah. Copy. Link. There you go. it helps to suggest order or choices. So if you are using choice boards to build some background knowledge before students get more deeply into whatever you're teaching them, maybe you would say, do this first, do this second, do this third, or something like that. You could definitely use this with math activities too. Let's see, anybody put it in an earlier session? Some people said that kids with tablets have trouble getting into videos. Is that so? My understanding of the problems with tablets is they have a very limited capacity. So if you're going to assign a video and a student on a tablet can't see that, that is going to be a bit of a challenge. One of the workarounds that I would suggest is think about showing the video in your group and then having the other things with less technology, needing less technology. You could also email the link to the student, because I'm thinking if they open only their email and get into that video, but that is a challenge. Now, Carmela has said that we'll have everybody on Chromebooks very soon. So hopefully that tablet problem will go away. But no, that's a good concern. That's a valid concern. Okay. Oh, Ocean Life Cam. Ooh, let's find that. The San Diego Zoo, I think, has a really great virtual field trip. And I actually found it on Seesaw. So if you go into Seesaw and look for San Diego Zoo or just look for virtual field trip, you'll find that. And that will, I think, give you, I remember we saw penguins and sharks, maybe? I don't remember. Ocean Life Cam. Live Cam. Live Camps, Monterey Bay. You pick on any of these. Oh, this is really cool. And you'll see their live cam. Okay. Back. Copy. Link. Paste. So with this one, there's no picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and pick a picture. Maybe I like the shark cam. So I'll use my do that. I'll copy that. I will put it in. And I think what I'll do is put the link right in that picture so I don't have two items for, I don't have to have two items for that activity. I'll put it right in there, paste, check. Get rid of this. There we go. All right. We've got 4 minutes left. I'm happy to stay later if anybody wants me to help them, but I will post this to Seesaw and I'll post it. If you email me, I'll share the link with you. Type in my email address here. Okay. New England Aquarium too. Good one, Betsy. So you can take this, you can like it, copy it, and make it your own if you're going to teach ocean life. Are there any questions? Okay, definitely. I will definitely save this in Seesaw to my building, but I think Seesaw is by building. So it'll be in the Keene building, but I'll still email it to anyone who wants it who's not teaching at Keene.
There's a district part you can put in Seesaw for the district.
Yeah, when I go to the district one, it seems like it's only being shared with my building, but I will definitely make it available as I possibly can, because so now you guys have something to start with. I hope this was helpful. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Feel free to stay and ask any questions, and have a great Saturday, you guys.